Welcome students in the series of motion in a plane. Today we are going to start the introduction topic of this chapter. This topic is important for class 11th physics for CBSE, NEET as well as for the IIT JEE aspirants. So now let's move. So what is motion in a plane? Let's move. So the branch of physics or the branch of mechanics that deals with the study of motion of an object without any reference to cause the motion is called as that motion in a plane or in the form of kinematics. A system of a coordinate axis with regard to which an event can be described is called frame of reference. Even the mean of event is simply here an incident. A thing which is to happen. So in both the forms, we can say that motion and rest both are relative terms. Moving ahead, that what is the form of motion and rest? First question is that what is the rest? The train is at rest. Then what is motion? We observe that the train is moving with reference to the bridge. So here we are taking a reference point from where we are considering the kinematic parameters. What is the mean of kinematic parameters? It's nothing but displacement, distance, velocity, speed, acceleration, jerk, etc. So these are the kinematic parameters which we are finding out in the frame of reference with a particular reference point. So we can say that motion is a change of position with respect to time and point of reference. Now, how many types of motions are there? So motion of a particle can be in three ways. Motion in one dimension, motion in two dimension, and motion in three dimension. Let's take one by one. So before starting, let's take some multiple choice questions. First, motion is a change of dash of an object with respective time and point of reference is a what? Position, movement, place, or object. The correct answer for this question is position. Next, how many types of motions are there? 2, 1, 3, or 4? The correct answer for this question is 3. These are one-dimensional motion, two-dimensional motion, and three-dimensional motion. So, let us start the deep knowledge about types of motion. Let's take one first. Motion in a one dimension. So as you can see, the motion of ant. So this is a straight line motion. It is also called rectilinear motion or a linear motion, where the particle follows a single line or a particular axis for a motion. Moving ahead, motion in two dimensions. So, as you can see this, we have seen in a way, in a very special game like Angry Bird. So, this will be a catapult by which we are just keeping here a bird, which is an angry bird. If we just catches behind down after a certain distance, the bird follows a trajectory. This will be later on, we will study about the projectile motion, but this will be taking two axes, x as well as y. So this kind of motion is called as a motion in a two dimension or a motion in a plane. So what type of motion is it? It is a motion in two dimensions, like cockroach moving on a floor. So movement of this cockroach is also two-dimensional motion. This is also called as motion in a plane, as I told you earlier. Third is motion in three dimensions. The motion in a space is called as three-dimensional motion. As you can see in this animation here, a butterfly moving in a space. So these kind of motion is called as motion in a space or a motion in three-dimensional motion. Now let's move with some multiple choice question. Motion in one dimension is a dash motion. Curved, circular, straight line, rotatory. The correct answer for this question is a straight line. Second, motion in two-dimensional motion is called as motion in a space, motion in a plane, or a motion in a straight line. Linear motion. The correct answer for this question is a motion in a plane. Examples for the motion. Imagine a cannonball being launched at a particular angle from the top of very high cliff. These are the example of motion in a plane. So imagine that cannonball does not encounter a significant amount of air resistance. As you can see this. So this kind of motion is called as projectile motion. Okay. What could be the path of the cannonball and how could the motion of the cannonball is described? So in the absence of the gravity, the cannonball follows a straight line path consisting the law of inertia. Gravity accelerates object downward but is unable to affect the horizontal motion of the projectile. Because of that, in the absence of a gravity, the cannonball follows a straight line path consistent with Newton's laws of inertia. The cannonball follows a parabolic path, or we can say it's following the trajectory of parabolic trajectory. As the ball rises towards its peak, it undergoes a downward acceleration. As the ball falls, it still undergoes a downward acceleration, as we can see here. This downward acceleration is depicted by a change in the vertical component of the velocity. This downward direction is cause of the downward force of a gravity on the ball. So, the cannonball motion is called as projectile motion, where we are neglecting the air resistance. Now let's move on to some multiple choice question. The cannonball follows a dash path. As the ball rises towards the peak, it undergoes a downward acceleration. curved, circular, parabolic, or a hyperbolic? So the correct answer for this question is parabolic. Second, the motion of cannonball is straight line motion, projectile motion, motion in a space, or a linear motion. The correct answer for this question is a projectile motion. Third, in the absence of dash, the cannonball follows a straight line path consistent with law of inertia. Atmosphere, air, gravity, CO2. The correct answer for this question is gravity. So students, this is all about for today's class. I hope you understand the introduction of this chapter. So take care and thank you for watching this video.